Only been, I think it's been like an hour. That's only been set up, isn't it? Probably, you know, you can only get a sort of idea. And the plan is always a cunning plan, always a cunning plan. The plan is to moor up short of Ellesmere, gather all my supplies for the engine service. Some nice people in a boat. It looks like there's 3 or 4 of them potentially, and it was like 30 foot long. That's going to be a cramped holiday, that. Anyway, got a laundrette, which is fantastic. Just not enough of those laundrettes around, I find. And some of them are awful. Those ones at Morrison's are rubbish, really expensive and just not very good at all. My clothes had a funny smell when they came out of... I mean, they had a funny smell when they went in. I mean, let's, you know, be fair about it. But they weren't that much better when they came out. And also, the dryer cost me like £8 or £9 for 45 minutes. And they were still sort of lightly damp when they came out. What on earth is that all about? Going out wide. So, this is a load of online moorings. Possibly liverboards, possibly some leisure boats, you know, a mixture, who knows. The thing about these is they narrow the canal a little bit. So in the summer, and it's a long line, I remember this. In the summer, this makes things interesting because there's a reasonable chance you're going to meet a boat coming the other way, possibly 2 or 3, during, you know, when you pass in this stretch. I do like the windows on that. That's excellent, that, isn't it? Big square windows. Big square windows, and yeah, I like that. Rudder's just hit something in the water, but it seems to be okay. So anyway, yeah, this not a great section. I'm not a fan. Because look, you can see there's not a lot of room on that side, and if you're trying to pass someone on a bend here, particularly here, could you imagine trying to squeeze past another boat? I mean, you can do it, you know, but sometimes people are in a hurry. The higher boats, they're going too quick, and life can become a little bit tricky. Yeah, one of the saving graces of winter, the reduced boat traffic, means it's a bit less stressful doing these narrow sections, because you're not likely to bump into boats coming the other way. Whereas in the summer, you very much are. I think the gentleman on the boat there, as I approached, or as I started to go past, I heard him say steady, which is, you know, a sort of a take it easy type statement. You're going a little bit fast. I don't know, I think I'm doing about 2. Do you know what? I'm going to check. Because I'm barely a tick over. But I'm going to check. I think I was doing this kind of speed, and one of the guys slightly pulled a face at me from the boatyard here. Yeah, do you know what it says? 2.7. I'm actually going a bit faster than I think I am. 2.8. I am going a tad fast. The guy was probably right. 2.8 is a bit sharp. This is Whittington Wharf, by the way, as you can see. Major hire boat centre. That's their day boat. Now, the one exception to the speedy thing I was just joking about are the day boats. There's one based, I think it's called ABC Narrowboats. A narrowboat in. There's one at ABC Narrowboats. at Whitchurch. There's possibly a couple of day boats go out. And they're absolutely mental. The speed, right, I'm going to have to watch out here. This is quite a narrow little thing, and I don't think I've hit anything today. So, again, I want to sort of maybe try and keep me record going. I'm on a bit of a run in terms of not hitting objects. But I spent a few weeks, actually it was a month, maybe 2 months, south of Whitchurch in different moorings. And that trip boat was absolutely mental. I think what the thing is, if you hire a boat for a day, and I get it, you know, if you hire a trip boat for a day, you want to get some miles in. You don't want to go 200 yards, have sandwiches, and then, you know, head back. You want to do some miles, and you want to do some lift bridges, or, you know, or locks. So this trip boat would absolutely thunder past me wherever I was moored. Yeah, you know, they're having fun. They're having a day out. I get it, but there are some hills to the south. Don't know if they're going to come across, but I'm going to try. It's getting a bit, the sun's gone behind the clouds. That's what it is. That's all it takes. That sun's not massively strong, but as soon as it goes behind the clouds, you're aware of it. There's a chill. And there's other clouds there as well. So I'm now thinking another shirt might be needed. The single shirt policy, no t-shirt by the way. My strategy today was thin shirt plus fleece. Actually, do you know something? Let's try the anorak as well. See how it goes. No snood on today as well, by the way. I don't think that's helping. But it's been fine. It's been absolutely fine for the last couple of hours. I think I've been going a couple of hours, and I'm like the frog that's being boiled, but in reverse. I'm the frog that's being sort of frozen, and I've just noticed. I mean, I could resort to sort of calisthenics again, but it's undignified and unproductive. Well, there is the possibility I'm just losing my marbles, you know, simple as that. So I'm sort of headed for civilization in a way. Ellesmere shop as well, as a big Tesco there, and a number of other little delicacy shops. They're not delicacy shops, what are they called? Delicatessen, yeah, delicacy in a way. And you can get some quite nice stuff, like locally sourced meats, you know, from local farms, and yeah. So it's quite nice stuff, and I want some of it. Now this guy's not giving me much space here, to be fair. So afternoon. I wasn't quite as effusively friendly with that guy. He did actually smile in the end. Maybe that guy's like that. Anyway, he gave me a smile, but I sort of, yeah, I wasn't as effusive. I wonder now if he sort of checks these vlogs out. If he checks these vlogs out and he's like, well, do you know what, when you actually meet that amateur boater guy, he's a miserable bastard, honestly, you know. And to be fair, he did smile at me as well. It just looked like he was going to be one of those grim ones, you know, so I sort of wasn't expecting a smile from him. I don't know. Anyway, I'm slowing down because there's a boat moored here, and I know for a fact now I'm doing faster speeds than what I think I'm doing. So, 2 ducks asleep there, male and female duck. It's crazy how they sleep, standing up with the head turned 180 degrees and tucked like into a wing somehow. How do they kip like that? Amazing. But I think I'm at Frankton Junction already. If I am, that was very quick. Hiya, mate. I've got to watch where I'm going, so. Seeing the beginning of the Welsh Mountains in the far distance. Okay, so Ellesmere, 1.45 miles as the crow flies, massive loops and twists and turns, probably 2.5 miles, at least 2.5 miles. So Ellesmere is now about an hour away, and I think I'm going to have another comfort stop because I've been swigging the water down like a maniac. Nothing worse than holding it in, you know, I'm dying to go to the toilet, I'm going to moor, and then try, because you don't just stop and then run inside. You've got to secure the boat. So you're bending over, you're trying to secure the boat, tying ropes up, and basically messing about whilst being desperate to go to the toilet. So there's that additional sting in the tail, as it were. Hi guys. Stop for a comfort break because you kind of have to, really. So that's a funny thing. You think when you're standing here and you know that a comfort break is going to be necessary at some stage fairly soon. You think it's not as urgent as all that, you know, I could hang on, and you probably could, but once the decision is made, I don't know if there's an age thing, it seems to become a more pressing matter, shall we say, rather quickly. So, you know, I'd sort of stopped, tied up the centre line, had a bit of shenanigans because I'd left the boat in reverse. I tried to slow it down coming into the bank, put it in reverse, left it in reverse. Genius. Yeah. And so I'm trying to pull the boat into the bank, and this boat, when it's in reverse, it swings out, the rear end swings out to the right. So the boat is trying to pull away and swing out its back end across the canal. So it took a lot of strength to bring it back in against the propeller. But so by the time I got that shenanigans done, got inside, I was really quite desperate to get matters underway, as it were, in terms of the business part of the comfort break. So it suddenly became more urgent than I thought it was. Perhaps it's an age thing. This is a trad style boat we've got here. Sensibly giving me plenty of space, good man. Afternoon. You going far today?
No, the right to turn it back to go back to.
Ah, right. Might see you later. Because I wouldn't have had any manoeuvring room. So I mean, you know, proper sensible driver, because there's nothing worse than coming out of a tunnel or anything like that and not having room to manoeuvre. I'm calling them chalets incorrectly, they're lodges. But you have got to think, where are the shops? You know, where's the nearest Asda? How am I going to get there? Or how am I just going to get around? You know, I don't want to spend every single day of my life, even in a nice location like this. So how am I going to get about? And that's why I feel like you need a car. You need something to get just to get about, because there's bugger all here, facilities wise. It's lovely, but there's nothing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on the heated insoles and see what kind of difference it makes, because I haven't needed them today. Oh, and I've got a new pair of boots, Wellington boots. One of these, one of my heated insoles is now on and the other one isn't, because I can't, the Bluetooth isn't fine. Bluetooth controlled heated insoles, amazing. And I've deliberately got a size larger Wellingtons, my new pair, so I can fit these things in. So even on the coldest of days, I should be absolutely fine. Disconnected, brilliant. Okay. That's so annoying. Oh, hello. This is the little fairy tale cottage thing. And somebody, I'm just going to make sure, somebody posted a comment on the YouTube video when I came past this place, because I think I hit that bridge. Yeah, which bridge you're asking? I hit most of them, but I went past this place, and apparently the guy is an ex-boater. He used to live aboard a narrowboat in London, so he doesn't mind boaters being there. You know, he's not one of those residents who might frown at you or something. He quite likes them, and he gets on well with the boaters. Apparently a nice chap. Right, yeah, it was this bridge. Oh, I made a total pig's ear of this, didn't I? Let's see, bridge 62. Let's see if I can do it this time without any dramas. Kind of, yeah. It's not a proper test because you can line up much easier on this approach. So I've not hit it, not quite through yet, but I don't think I'm going to hit it. So I've got through. Funny in the winter, you know, when it gets cold and it gets a bit icy and rainy and muddy. God, does it get muddy. You sort of lose your appetite for staying out in the wild quite so much. Like, I'm okay for sort of 2 days, you know, maybe 3 days out in the sticks, and then I sort of want to get back closer to a town again, you know. Even at New Marton there, you're within 1.5 miles of the town of St Martin's. You know, it's not far away. Because there's very few boats stopping there at the moment and it's open and rural, it just feels it's a bit too quiet almost. So it's not so much even that I'm looking for the facilities to get close to, more the other boaters. Anyway, we are nearly there. And seeing the buildings of Ellesmere up there about half a mile away, so I'm kind of paying attention now. So now I'm into mooring decision mode now. This is, or indecision actually, that's a better way of saying it, mooring indecision. But I never thought I'd find myself saying this, but you do sort of find yourself saying, I wouldn't mind a bit of sight of a human being, just the sight of a human being, to let me know there are still some around. This is it. loads of sun, loads of solar, dead flat, short ride into town. That's a good spot. That is a good spot. Nice and wide, so no dramas with people squeezing past. Still saying 3 miles an hour, and it does not feel like 3 miles an hour at all. I'm going to creep forwards. Hopefully there won't be boats coming at me to confuse things, but I'm going to creep forwards and just see what's around this bend, because again, there's a nice mooring spot just up ahead. What I'd like to try and do is get on the outskirts of the line of boats. There'll be a line of boats spaced out, and they give each other a decent length in between as well, by the way. I've noticed that with the winter boaters. They won't park right next to you, they'll park like 100 yards away, which is nice. It's a nice thing to do, because you can still go and have a chat and stuff, but you know, you're not on top of each other. So there's a lovely mooring here. I'll show you what we've got here. We've got a lovely mooring here, brilliant little mooring there, that's good. But round the bend there's a plank bridge, something with water there. I don't even want to think what that is. But this is if I can't see anything when I creep round the bend up front, I'm going to come back and I'm going to stay here. I think that's where I'll go. I'll come back here if all the spots up ahead are taken. But you never really know what you're going to see. There could be no boats on the lead into Ellesmere, or there could be 10 covering all the available stuff. So cut the revs a little bit and let's basically just creep round and see what's what. This is a good mooring. These are all good. These are all good. Open to the south, loads of sun, solar, and we're close, you know. We are no more than 600 yards from the Ellesmere Arm. I've got this spot, you know, in my pocket, if you like. It's there, I know it's there, it's a good spot. So what I can do is, if I don't have any luck, a couple of 100 yards further on, I'll come back here, I'll tow the boat backwards, maybe just put it in reverse tick over, and I'll tow the boat backwards. I'm just going to push me luck a little bit further, because here is a good spot as well. This is good. It's flat, it's indented even, whatever, it's perfectly acceptable. Not arm coat, but you can get mooring chains on it. Perfectly acceptable. Again, it's not far, about 500 yards now, which is a doddle for the push bike. So, last little nose round the bend, and if it doesn't work, this is where I'm coming back to. So I found the start of the moored boats here. Found the start, and what I'm trying to do is to now reverse and get into the bank. So I'm turning the boat, trying to turn the front of the boat round, get the boat headed, the stern headed towards the towpath, and then put it in reverse. So I'm using forward gear to do the turn. Once it's turning, I'm now going to go in reverse, and the back end of the boat will come out, and I'll be able to jump off and pull the boat in. And I'm more up here and check out on foot what's ahead. So here we go, I'm just nosing into the bank, nosing in towards the bank, and I can pull the boat in using rope. If I was a decent steerist, I'd be able to guide it properly, but this will do. So here's where we've ended up, about 300 yards short of Ellesmere, I would think. A very quiet little stretch. Up ahead there's a bend and there's a couple of boats, maybe 200 yards up there, and over this side couple of fields. I think there's some buildings outskirts of Ellesmere, so we're not at all far away from Ellesmere, but it's super quiet. So there we go. Bonsoir.